When I moved into Maple Glen Estates, I was looking for peace. After 20 years in courtrooms, handing down rulings and navigating the trenches of federal law, I thought this gated community would be the perfect environment for my son, Milo, who has spina bifida and uses a wheelchair. He's 11, sharp as a tack, and more empathetic than most adults I've met from the bench. The HOA president, Karen Whitmore, introduced herself with a tight smile and a clipboard full of forms. She eyed Milo's ramp like it was a crack in the foundation of Western civilization. "We try to maintain a uniform aesthetic here," she said, tapping the railing. "We don't normally approve medical structures. It sends a message." I didn't argue. I've dealt with people like Karen in court. You let them talk just long enough to build their own gallows. Over the next few weeks, the complaints started rolling in. Milo's motorized chair is noisy. His therapy dog barked once. He plays too close to the community garden. Every time I calmly cited the Fair Housing Act, the ADA, and the community's own charter, Karen would retreat temporarily. Then came the incident. On a sunny Saturday, Milo joined a few kids in the neighborhood at the HOA playground. He was excited. It had taken weeks of encouragement to convince him he belonged. He was barely there 5 minutes before Karen marched onto the playground, holding a manila folder like it was the Ten Commandments. "You're not allowed here," she snapped. "The board voted. This playground isn't built to ADA code. Your presence is a liability." Milo tried to respond, but she cut him off. "You can't just force your way into places that aren't made for people like you." She actually ordered a maintenance worker to lock the playground gate with Milo still inside, claiming it was a safety precaution. He called me from his smartwatch, panicked. I was there in 10 minutes. Karen met me at the gate, lips pursed. "Your son is creating a hazard. You need to keep him in your own yard from now on." I looked at her, calm, deliberate, and said, "Ms. Whitmore, do you know what I do for a living?" She rolled her eyes. "You're an attorney or something, right?" I pulled out my badge and flipped it open. Federal judge, appointed, active, lifetime tenure. Her face paled. "I specialize in civil rights law," I said. "So let me be crystal clear. You just violated at least 3 federal statutes: denial of public accommodation, unlawful discrimination based on disability, and false imprisonment. That's not just unethical, it's illegal." Her lips moved, but no sound came out. "I suggest you unlock that gate, issue an apology, and step away before you compound your liability." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. 2 days later, I filed a formal complaint with the Department of Housing and Urban Development. At the same time, I sent a notice of civil action to the HOA board with a full timeline of incidents, security footage, witness statements, and legal precedents cited down to the paragraph. Karen was removed from her post within 72 hours. She tried to play the victim, of course, told neighbors she was just trying to preserve safety. But federal investigators don't care much for crocodile tears, especially when there's a paper trail and a frightened child caught in the middle. A month later, Milo rolled into that same playground, but this time with a new ADA-compliant ramp, a plaque that read, "All are welcome," and a few extra friends who had watched everything unfold. The HOA even hosted a community-wide picnic to celebrate inclusion, likely to avoid further litigation. As for Karen, she moved out quietly 2 weeks later. I heard she's now fighting with her new neighborhood's recycling coordinator. Milo, meanwhile, told me something that night I'll never forget. "Dad, I didn't know grown-ups could be bullies, but I'm glad you're the kind that fights back." "So am I."